Today's video is one that I believe can help inspire many of you watching, as it's a man named Joe Rogan who delivers what I consider to be one of the best motivational speeches ever. This guy is insanely successful in so many areas. He's a comedian, he's the co-founder and former color commentator for the Ultimate Fighting Championship, also known as UFC. And since 2009, he has been the host of the world's top podcast by the name of the Joe Rogan Experience. Joe has interviewed some of the greatest minds in the world on his podcast, from Elon Musk to Jordan Peterson and Neil deGrasse Tyson, just to name a few. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video and see what this guy has to say that left the audience completely speechless. Okay, so this was a speech that Joe gave at the E3 conference back in 2017. So let's just dive right into it. I think what you have to understand is that everything that you do is an act of exploration. It's like going into the ocean. You don't know how deep the water is. You don't know what's in the water. And every time you take an action, you're testing the depth of the water, you're testing the temperature of the water. Every time you make a decision about how you're going to live your life or what you're going to do, you're really just testing the depths of the possibilities. You're not going to know the consequences of certain actions until you test them. So it's better to test them and then learn than not test them and wonder what could have happened. And that's what makes life an adventure, right? Like if you were told, if your life was pre-scripted, it would suck. If you were promised by your parents that your entire life would be a certain way and there would be no deviation from the plan, you'd be like, that's terrible, I want to explore. I want to experience different things. I want to try new foods. I want to meet new people. I want to go to new places. I want to talk to girls. I mean, that's part of the human experience. That's what makes us curious. That's what makes us alive. We are explorers. Our brains are designed to explore. So therefore, everything that you do is an act of exploration. Now, this doesn't mean that you should engage in reckless behavior, but it does mean that when you're faced with decisions, it's okay to take chances, because you're never going to know what the outcome is unless you test it. I mean, look at life as an adventure. Look at life as a series of possibilities. And I think if you approach it that way, you'll be much more excited about the prospect of living it. So now, here's something that I've observed about human beings. Human beings can be incredibly self-aware, but at the same time, they can be incredibly unaware of their own self-awareness. They can understand on an intellectual level that they are aware of themselves. They know that they have a self. But at the same time, they don't really pay attention to their self. They don't listen to their inner voice. They don't tune into what their body is telling them. And so, they become disconnected from themselves. They become unaware of themselves despite the fact that they are highly self-aware. And this is why people get stuck in jobs that they hate, or relationships that do not work, or situations that they do not want to be in. Because they are aware of it, but they're not aware enough to actually do something about it. You know what I mean? It's like, and so the challenge is to become more aware of your own self-awareness. To realize that you are aware, and that you have a choice. And to use that awareness to make positive changes in your life. I think the key to success is simple. It's just not easy. And what I mean by that is that everyone knows that to be successful, you need to work hard, you need to be disciplined, you need to sacrifice. But very few people are willing to do the hard work. Everyone wants the rewards of success, but not everyone is willing to put in the work. So the key is to find something that you're passionate about, something that you really want to succeed at, and then to put in the hard work and the discipline to make it happen. It's not easy, but it's definitely possible. And it all starts with a willingness to put in the effort. The only reason I was able to do this is because I had a support system. My parents gave me unconditional love and support. They never told me no. They never said you can't do that. They never limited me. They gave me freedom with responsibility. And that's the most important thing you can do as a parent, especially as a father. Give your children the freedom to explore. Give them the freedom to make their own mistakes, but also give them the responsibility to be accountable for their actions. When my son decides he wants to do something, I don't tell him no. I ask him why does he want to do it? What is it that he wants to do it? And then I try to help him figure out how to do it. I don't limit him. I don't restrict him. I give him the freedom to explore and discover his own passions. And I think that's the most important thing that we can do as parents. Yeah, it's It's almost like a form of reverse psychology where you don't push them away. You welcome them in, you accept them for who they are, you love them unconditionally, and then you give them the freedom to make their own choices. And when they make mistakes, you're there to help them. You don't punish them, you don't shame them, you don't embarrass them. You just try to help them learn from their mistakes and move forward. It's so important to be careful of who you trust and who you share your ideas with, because not everyone is supportive or encouraging. Some people are jealous or resentful, and they don't want to see you succeed. So it's important to be strategic about who you surround yourself with and who you trust. You have to be willing to take risks and put yourself out there. It's important to be vulnerable and open with the people you trust, but you have to be careful about who you share your ideas with. Sometimes it's better to keep your ideas to yourself or share them only with a few trusted people. It's also important to be aware of the intentions of the people you interact with. Not everyone has your best interest at heart, and some people may try to take advantage of you or hold you back. So it's important to be cautious and strategic about who you trust and who you share your ideas with. But if you're willing to take that risk and put yourself out there, then you can find amazing people who will support and encourage you on your journey. I think that's a great point, and I think it's important to remember that not everyone is going to be supportive and not everyone is going to be encouraging. But if you're willing to put yourself out there, then you can find those people who are supportive and encouraging. You just have to be willing to put in the work to find them. I've always been interested in multiple things. I've always had a lot of interests and a lot of hobbies. And I've always tried to find ways to turn my passions into a career. I think it's important to pursue the things that you are passionate about and to try to make a living doing what you love. And I think that's what led me to where I am today. I'm doing what I love and I'm making a living doing it. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please leave a like as it really helps me out. Also make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, thanks so much for watching and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.